People often describe success with the word luck. They believe some people are born fortunate, while others are not. This perspective is simple, but it obscures a more practical truth. Many individuals who appear lucky are not merely recipients of random chance. They are practitioners of specific mental habits. These habits are simple. These habits are consistent. These habits are powerful. They reshape how a person perceives the world, and in turn, they alter how the world responds to that person. These are not magical abilities reserved for an elite few. They are teachable skills. This essay will decode 5 of these core techniques in plain language. These mental systems are less about wishing and more about doing. They are structured processes for managing your inner state. They are structured processes for managing your focus. They are structured processes for managing your beliefs. When you manage these internal elements, your external actions become more effective. This creates a feedback loop where small wins accumulate into significant results. What others see as a sudden stroke of good fortune is often the culmination of disciplined inner work. The goal is to make these mental models so ingrained that they operate automatically. They become the default setting for how you think. They become the default setting for how you feel. They become the default setting for how you act. This essay provides a clear framework. It explains 5 foundational techniques behind what many call manifestation or frequency control. For each technique, you will learn what it is and how to apply it with simple, daily actions. We will also compare this systematic approach to the teachings of other popular figures in this field. This will give you context and show where the methods overlap and where they offer a unique advantage. The core of this guide is a practical, 1-week routine. It is designed to be a boot camp for your mind, building a foundation for lasting change. The aim is to demystify the process of creating your own luck. By understanding the mechanics, you can move from being a passive observer of your life to an active architect. The first core technique is understanding your teachability index. This is a simple metric for your capacity to grow and adapt. It is composed of 2 equally important variables. The first variable is your willingness to learn new information. The second is your willingness to change your existing beliefs and habits. To achieve rapid progress, you must score high on both. A person who is willing to learn but unwilling to change will accumulate knowledge without results. A person who is willing to change but unwilling to learn will lack direction. True growth happens at the intersection of both. People who move through life with ease often have a high teachability index. They do not cling to outdated ideas or methods. They remain open and flexible. When presented with new evidence or a better strategy, they pivot without hesitation. They treat beliefs like tools in a toolkit. If a tool stops working, they replace it with a better one. This mental agility lets them stay ahead while others remain stuck. Apply this with a simple self-audit. Each morning or night, ask 2 questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is my willingness to learn today? Then, on the same scale, what is my willingness to change today? Be honest. If scores are consistently low, that's a rigid mindset warning. Next, take a small, manageable action to raise your score. Don't overhaul everything overnight. Start with a tiny experiment. Choose one minor belief or habit that you suspect is holding you back. Example: think you're not a morning person. Wake up 15 minutes earlier for 3 days. Example: always listen to the same music. Try a new genre on your commute. Intentionally breaking a small pattern trains flexibility. Tiny, deliberate changes compound over time. You become more adaptable, more open, and ultimately, more lucky. The second core technique is the training balance scale. The second core technique is the training balance scale. This concept measures how you allocate your efforts between 2 types of work: inner work and outer work. Inner work, outer work. Outer work consists of the tangible actions you take in the world: planning, executing tasks, sending emails, deploying strategies. Most people focus almost exclusively on outer work. They believe that more action, more hustle, more tactics will lead to better results. They spend their days pushing against the world, often with great effort and limited success. Inner work, on the other hand, involves the management of your internal state. Visualization, clarifying your vision, cultivating specific feelings, aligning your identity with your goals. The elite performers understand the leverage of inner work. They dedicate a significant portion of their time to tuning their frequency. When their inner state is clear and aligned, outer actions become exponentially more effective. Their state of being attracts the right opportunities. To use the training balance scale, become aware of your current allocation. Think about your typical workday: planning, doing, thinking, feeling, being. For many, the ratio is heavily skewed. 99% outer work, 1% inner work. The goal is not to stop taking action. Create a more effective balance. Start by dedicating a small, non-negotiable block of time each day to inner work. Try this for 1 week. Carve out 10 to 30 minutes each morning. Use that time in silence, visualizing your desired outcomes, journaling about your ideal identity, feeling the emotions of success. Do not treat this as a luxury. Treat it as the most important task of your day. After this session, proceed with your outer work as usual. Observe what happens. You may find your actions are more inspired, your decisions are clearer, you encounter less resistance. This small shift in balance can dramatically improve your results. The third technique involves leveraging specific brainwave states to command your subconscious mind. Your brain operates on different frequencies throughout the day. Theta state, asleep. One of the most receptive states is the theta brainwave state. This is the drowsy, dreamlike state you experience just before you fall asleep and immediately upon waking. In this state, the analytical mind is quiet. The barrier between your conscious and subconscious mind becomes thin and permeable. This makes it an ideal window for reprogramming your beliefs and expectations. During the theta state, your subconscious mind is highly suggestible. It accepts images, feelings, and commands more easily and with less resistance. This is why practices like visualization and affirmations are most effective when performed during these transitional periods of consciousness. By intentionally planting a desired reality into your mind during these moments, you are programming your internal guidance system. You are instructing your deeper mind on what to look for and what to create. This is not wishful thinking. It is a form of precise mental engineering. You can implement this with a simple nightly routine and morning routine. Just before you drift off to sleep, lie comfortably in bed and relax your body. Bring to mind a clear, simple image of one specific outcome you desire. Do not just see the image, step into it. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were already your reality. What would you see, hear, and touch? Accompany this feeling with a short, present tense statement, such as, I am so grateful now that. Repeat this process for 3 to 5 minutes until you fall asleep. In the morning, as you are waking up, but before you are fully alert, revisit the same scene. Spend just 1 minute or 2 minutes holding the image and feeling the emotion. This morning reinforcement helps solidify the instruction you gave your subconscious mind the night before. This consistent practice, performed twice daily, acts like a tuning fork. It attunes your entire being to the frequency of your desired outcome. Over time, you will begin to notice your perceptions, actions, and even the events around you begin to align with the images you have been planting. Section 5. Core Technique Number 4. Association as Subconscious Engineering. Association is a form of passive subconscious engineering. The human mind is highly porous. It absorbs attitudes, beliefs, and expectations from your environment, the people you spend time with, the media you consume, the conversations you engage in. All of these act as programming for your mind. If you're surrounded by complainers, doubt, and focus on limitations, your mindset will inevitably drift in that direction. Conversely, immerse yourself in high expectation and possibility. Your standards will rise to match. This principle is the hidden engine behind elite masterminds, exclusive clubs, and high-performance teams. The change can happen so rapidly, it appears magical from the outside. Join a group where success is the norm. Your sense of what's possible expands. Collective belief overrides an individual's previous limits. This isn't about learning new tactics. It's about absorbing a new frequency. Your mind adopts the tone of the people and information it's most exposed to. You can consciously engineer this in your own life. Start by taking an inventory of your primary inputs. List the top 5 people you interact with most. List the top 5 sources of media you consume. Examples: podcasts, news, social media feeds. Next to each, write the dominant emotional tone: empowering, neutral, or disempowering. This simple audit reveals the programming you're receiving. The next step is a deliberate shift. You don't have to cut people out, just manage exposure. Try this experiment for 1 week. Mute or temporarily remove one negative source. For example, a pessimistic news site, a complaining group chat, or a television show that leaves you drained. At the same time, add one high-frequency source. For example, a podcast from a successful entrepreneur, an inspiring book by an author you admire, or a 30-minute conversation with a positive friend. Notice the shift in your mental chatter and emotional state. Over time, curate your informational diet as carefully as your nutritional diet. This is something you can start doing today. Section 6. Core technique number 5. Secrecy as a belief amplifier. The 5th technique is the strategic use of secrecy as a belief amplifier. When an idea, a goal, or a practice is framed as a secret, it gains a psychological weight and power. The act of holding something in confidence creates a special, focused energy around it. This heightened emotional charge strengthens the belief associated with the goal. A stronger belief drives more consistent and potent action. This is a subtle but powerful form of psychological leverage. The mystique of secrecy can enhance commitment, amplify placebo effects. Many successful individuals intuitively use this principle. They work on major projects in private, away from outside opinions, doubts, premature praise. Sharing a goal too early can dissipate creative tension. Each time you discuss it, you release a small amount of the energy that should be fueling your actions. By keeping a goal secret, you contain that energy. The goal incubates in your mind, growing more real and more potent until ready to be manifested. This is a tool you can use safely and effectively. It is not about being deceptive or antisocial. It is about protecting the fragile incubation phase of a new desire. Choose one significant goal you are currently working toward. For the next 7 to 30 days, tell no one about it. Treat it as a sacred project between you and your future self. Every time you feel the urge to talk about it, redirect that energy into one small, tangible action. Observe what happens during this period of silence. You may notice your focus becomes sharper and more intense. The goal may begin to feel more real and inevitable. You are not leaking creative energy through conversation. You are channeling it directly into execution. This practice builds internal pressure that can lead to breakthroughs. Use secrecy as a temporary container to build momentum, not as a permanent wall. To better understand this system, compare it to 3 well-known figures: Abraham Hicks, Neville Goddard, Bashar. There are significant overlaps. Abraham Hicks emphasizes emotional guidance. Your feelings indicate alignment with desires. Find a way to feel good to raise your vibrational frequency. Our system shares this focus on state management. Neville taught imagination and living in the end. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Imagine it done. Fall asleep in that state. Aligns with our theta state programming. Focus on identity and assuming your ideal self. We add a structured, habit-based daily framework. Bashar speaks of parallel realities and consciousness physics. Follow your excitement with no insistence on outcome. Excitement is a signal from your higher self. This matches our emphasis on inspired action and attunement. When aligned, the how appears via nudges and synchronicity. We operationalize this with daily tuning habits. Our unique synthesis is pragmatic and structured. It integrates feeling, imagination, frequency. It adds subconscious engineering through association. It adds strategic use of secrecy. The result: repeatable mental and behavioral habits. It's less about why and more about how. Start today. Follow a clear 7-day routine. This 7-day routine is a practical bootcamp designed to install these techniques as habits. Consistency is more important than intensity. Follow these small, clear steps each day to build momentum. Daily constants plus a focused day for each of 7 days. This gives repetition and novelty to keep you engaged. Think of it as a short experiment in reprogramming your reality. Daily constants to be performed every day. Morning, 10 to 15 minutes. Begin with a gratitude ramp. Start by feeling grateful for small, simple things. The air you breathe, the bed you slept in. Expand to bigger things. Then, spend 5 to 10 minutes visualizing one primary desire. Do not just see it. Immerse yourself in the feeling of having already achieved it. Daytime. Practice active awareness. Catch negative self-talk. Catch complaining. And consciously replace it with a neutral or positive thought. When you feel your mood dip, take a small action to shift it. A short walk. Drinking a glass of water. Listening to an uplifting song. Night, 10 to 15 minutes. Before sleep, write down 3 wins or positive signs you noticed during the day, no matter how small. Then, perform a short, 5-minute visualization of your main desire as you fall asleep. Day-by-day focus. Day 1. Clarity and chief aim. Define your target. Write down 1 to 3 main goals you want to focus on. Describe each one in the present tense, using rich sensory detail. Example wrong. I want a new job. Example right. I am so happy and grateful working at company name, enjoying my collaborative team and the creative challenges. Read this description aloud to yourself. Day 2. Teachability Index Audit. Rate your willingness to learn. Rate your willingness to change. Identify one small habit or belief that lowers your mood or limits your thinking. For today only, consciously choose to reduce or eliminate it. Maybe you skip the morning news, or decide not to complain about traffic. Day 3. Training balance shift. Dedicate a full 30 minutes to focused inner work today. This is double the usual time. Extended visualization. Journaling from the perspective of your future self. Walking meditation where you feel the reality of your goal. Day 4. Environment shift. Curate your inputs. Mute or remove one consistently negative source. A person's social media feed. A news outlet. Intentionally add 2 high-frequency sources. Listen to 2 different inspiring podcasts. Read 2 chapters of an empowering book. Watch 2 interviews with people you admire. Day 5. Micro-manifestation challenge. Choose a small, specific, and neutral sign to manifest within 24 to 48 hours. Example, a purple feather. Example, the phrase, "It is done." Example, a specific number sequence. Set the intention to see it, expect it to appear, and then let it go. Write it down when it shows up. Day 6. Inspired action. The focus today is on bridging the inner and outer worlds. Take one small, bold, and slightly scary step toward your chief aim. This is not about massive action, but about acting on an intuitive nudge. Day 7. Integration and review. Look back, review, and decide how you will carry this practice forward. Narrator. What people call luck is not a random mystical force. Narrator. It is the observable result of an underlying process. Narrator. From the perspective of this system, luck can be deconstructed into 4 interconnected pillars. Narrator. When these 4 components are active and aligned, narrator, events that appear miraculous from the outside become a normal and predictable part of your experience. Narrator. Understanding these pillars removes the mystery from fortune. Narrator and transforms it into a skill through deliberate practice. Narrator. It shifts you from hoping for luck to engineering it. Narrator. The first pillar is frequency. Narrator. Your inner state. Narrator. Dominant thoughts. Narrator. Beliefs. Narrator. Emotions. Narrator. Broadcasts a specific energetic signature. Narrator. This frequency acts like a tuning fork, creating resonance in your reality. Narrator. If your dominant frequency is lack and frustration, you attract matching experiences. Narrator. Cultivate gratitude. Narrator, abundance. Narrator, success. Narrator, and you begin to attract circumstances. People, ideas that are in harmony with that state. This is the foundational work. The second pillar is perception. A tuned frequency alters what you perceive. Focus on an outcome. Your brain's reticular activating system filters reality, highlighting what's relevant. You notice opportunities, connections, solutions that were always there. This is why someone who decides to buy a red car suddenly sees red cars everywhere. The cars were always there. Perception changed. A lucky person is simply tuned to opportunity. The third pillar is action speed. Noticing an opportunity is not enough. Lucky people bias toward immediate action. Intuitive nudge, synchronous opportunity appears. They act quickly. All right, let's pull the back curtain all the way on this. Speed matters. Opportunities are fleeting. Closing the gap between impulse and action lets you capitalize on revealed windows. Not reckless, inspired action. It feels like a pull, not a push. The fourth and final pillar is network. As your frequency perception actions change, you will naturally begin to connect with new people. Your elevated state attracts similar individuals and repels others. This creates a network effect. Mentors, partners, clients, friends show up at the right time to help you along your path. This is a consequence of alignment, not randomness. Together, they create the consistent pattern of positive outcomes we call luck. The ultimate goal of this system is to reach a state of unconscious competence. This is the stage where you no longer have to consciously think about practicing these techniques. They become an automatic and integrated part of who you are. Your default mental habits, your curated environment, your core identity. Life begins to feel easier and more fluid. You notice more opportunities, you act on them with confidence. The world seems to consistently conspire in your favor. This is the end point of deliberate practice. The journey to this state follows a predictable path. Conscious incompetence. You are aware but clumsy. This is where you begin the 7-day routine, following the steps mechanically. Conscious competence. Structured practice and tracking improve skill. You can generate desired states and see tangible results, but it still requires focus. This is where most of the work is done. Unconscious competence. The transition through repetition. Mental models become second nature. You simply think from the end. No more deliberate visualization. Gratitude becomes your baseline state. Your environment passively supports your goals. The effort disappears. The real magic happens. Success becomes a natural byproduct of your being. Others call this luck from the outside. Start small and be consistent. Commit to the 7-day routine for 1 week. Keep a simple journal to record your daily wins and the signs you observe. This act of recording reinforces the changes and proves to your logical mind that the process is working. Above all, remain teachable. If a certain technique does not resonate, adjust it or try another. The goal is not rigid adherence, but effective results. Repeat the 7-day block or build a sustainable daily practice. Small daily shifts in your mental habits are the path to profound, lasting change. This is how luck is truly made. This is not magic. It is the predictable result of a well-tuned mind.